Good morning, friends and family. I'm Diane, and welcome to my farmstead dream. Today, I'm going to work on planting my broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, those cooler weather vegetables that we need to get in the ground early. It's the beginning of March, and I've got them already growing, and so I'm looking forward to getting them in the ground. I do need to do some work on my beds, so I thought I would show you the beds and tell you what kind of work I need to do to them, and then maybe we'll get to planting. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll get started. I've already brought my tomatoes out this morning, so there they are, sitting in the sun in their little mini greenhouse, soaking up all the good rays. Okay, and then we're going to turn around because my garden is this way. Now, this is the prime example of start with what you have. Okay, now I've already told y'all that we live with my mother-in-law right now. We are caring for her. And so she lives in this little manicured neighborhood, which, is not very farm friendly, to say the least. But it is what it is, and it's what I've got to work with. And so I'm going to do the best I can with what I have. So before I show you the garden bed, I wanted to show you real quick this cool little thing. Last year, we had one of those rotting spiders that was between these two bushes, and she left her eggs. Do y'all see the eggs? How cool is that? So I'm super excited to have some more rotting spiders this year. They are so beneficial to your garden, and they're super fun to watch. And y'all excuse all my hoses and everything. They're scattered everywhere because I've been pulling things out of the garden. I have to do some amendments and do some weeding. We got some nasty little weeds in this bed. This bed needs to not only be amended, but it's going to need some more soil and compost because last year things did not do well in this bed simply because there wasn't a thick enough layer of soil. Now I'm having to use Mom's flower beds. These were her flower beds. This whole bed here was full of monkey grass, and I've got a picture of it. I'll see if I can find it and add it in here somewhere. So I pulled all the monkey grass out and just planted, I did add some soil. I added about 10 bags of soil here. I wasn't able to get like a whole load or a truckload because at that point in time we did not have a truck, but now we have a truck. So hopefully I'll be able to get a good amount of soil for a better price. But anyways, so we got some weeds in there we got to get out, and we need to add some compost and some soil and maybe some manure. And I'm going to amend this bed as well. And as you can see, that's my trellis from last year. That will be moved. I'm going to have several trellises. I'm thinking that I'm going to put my trellis on this side of the bed with tomatoes, and I'm going to arch it over. I'm going to arch it over the sidewalk to this side and just let the tomatoes grow over it. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. And then I think I might have some peas behind it. I'll show you. I have my little journal here. This is my garden journal. And so these have my notes in them from the last 2 years and starting this year. So I make these on my other channel. If you're interested in that, I'll link my other channel in the description box below if you want to go check that out. I don't have any journals in my Etsy shop right now. I have a hard time keeping them in my Etsy shop. They just sell out nearly as soon as I get them in there. But I do have a batch that I'm working on, and I will get those in the shop hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So if you want to go check them out, you can. But anyways, in my garden journal, I showed you that because I have all of my beds drawn out, and I kind of have a somewhat of a planting plan. Now, I'm not one of those that, I don't do spreadsheets and all of that. I like more of a wild garden. I'm not a row girl. I think the rows are beautiful. I think they're pretty and I love them, but I don't have enough room here, to really do rows. And so I just kind of plant as much as I can in these small beds. I built this bed last year, and let me tell you, it was a feat. It is not finished. So here is where this area here, sorry about the camera, this area here is where I'm going to be putting the broccoli, cabbage, carrots, onions, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. So they'll be all in this general area. But I need to do some work on this end, and I'll show you. There's my garlic. It's been growing in there since, I guess, October of last year. And then I have my tower here, and it's so funny because look, this is spinach that I planted last fall, and it didn't do well. I guess I got it in too late, but now it's coming up, so I don't know how well it will do, but we'll see. And then these are strawberries from last year that are in here, so we'll see how well those do too. And then down there is some lettuce from last year. And then these are some irises that my neighbor behind me gave to me. And so I don't know if I'm going to plant them here, since I don't know how long we're going to be here. I don't know. But anyways, we'll see what we're going to do with those. And then over here, I have, in these two pots, I have lettuces, cilantro, let me move my finger, radishes. The round is mint and the square is spearmint, and then in this one is parsley. So I've already got those planted in there. So, but I wanted to bring you around this way and show you. See how at the end of this bed, the weeds are coming through, and I didn't have as much soil to put here. And so my idea is to kind of line the side of this bed all the way around with concrete blocks, and then I want to plant marigolds and flowers in each of those concrete blocks, and it will create kind of a barrier around my bed to keep critters out, because I do have a lot of critters around here. I have squirrels, birds, bunny rabbits. We have a whole slew of bunny rabbits around here, and some deer and coyotes and some foxes and skunks, of course. So anyway, so I thought if I put that barrier around, it will help to deter the critters from getting in my beds, because they also get in my tower here, and they dig in the soil in my tower. So, but anyway, here on this end, I want to put my garlics, all of my little pots right here. I want to kind of bring them around here. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to kind of rake that back and add some more cardboard there, and then just sit these pots on top of the cardboard, and that way it'll kind of be a weed barrier, and it won't look bad because I'm not going to have like huge pieces of cardboard here. So that's kind of my idea for right here. And then this was a failed attempt at growing carrots. I came out here and I wet the soil. I planted my carrots in a couple of, there's 4 rows, I think, 4 or 6 rows of carrots. And then I put the cardboard on top because they say you know, that helps to protect the seed. And that's been several weeks ago, and I've just not had any germination rate at all. So we're going to have to rethink this. But I think I've found another method that I'm going to try, and I'll bring you along for that when I get ready to do that. So anyways, I know I've done a lot of talking and not shown you a whole lot, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what my plan is. So here I'm going to add a little bit more soil because I didn't have a thick enough layer of soil here last year. This bed is my attempt at a Back to Eden garden bed. So it's kind of a work in progress, and it's a little experiment that I'm doing, and I think it's going to be okay. It did pretty good last year, other than the fact that all of my tomatoes were right here last year, and I got blight here, and I had to clear all of this out. So that's another reason I'm going to put my tomatoes over there. I don't want them in the same spot they were last year, just to give another little bit of a barrier to hopefully not have blight again this year. So anyways, so I'm going to rake back all of this mulch. I'm just going to kind of rake it back and get it in a little pile. I'm going to put my cardboard on the end of this bed here and build this end up, move my garlic around here, and then I'm going to put some more soil here, and then go ahead and plant all of my plants here. And yeah, that's what I'm going to try and get done today. I don't know that I'll get it all done, but I'm going to try. But first, I have to go pick up my soil because I just ordered it. So I can't do anything until I go pick up my soil. So for now, I just kind of wanted to show y'all my idea of what to do in these beds, and I'll probably just do another video and show y'all when I get ready to start amending and planting in the bed. But I also want to show you the front beds, because I'm actually having to use the front flower beds in front of the house also to plant vegetables in, just simply because I don't have enough room to plant everything I want to plant. So I'm going to walk around there. Hang on. Oh, I did also want to tell you, in this bed close to the house, I think I'm going to do all herbs in this bed. Okay, so we're going to walk around. I'll kind of show you, give you an idea. We're in the back of the house now, and so we're going to walk across the driveway. The driveway's kind of on the side of the house. There's my tomatoes. Here's a bed that is full of jonquils and daylilies, and this is going to have a little bit of work right here too. But this is actually an herb, or I mean, it's a wild herb, but I was going to pull these, but then I looked them up and did some research on them. You can eat those in salads and all kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to try it. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, so this is in front of the garage. And again, this has the daylilies, and then there's a couple of bushes here. But in between these bushes, now I will trim these bushes down so that they're not so tall. In between here, last year, I had pumpkins right here. And it was so pretty. I had a trellis, or a, excuse me. Yeah, I guess you could call it a trellis. It was just a cattle panel. Or I think I have pig panels. I don't know. Anyway, you know, the same as my tomatoes. The same as my tomatoes from last year. But anyway, I think this year I'm going to put potatoes in here, and also on the other side of this bush here, because that's quite a good little bit of room for some potatoes. Now, I do have an oregano. I don't know if you can see it, but that's an oregano right there. All this little green here. So I'm going to leave that and just add the potatoes in. And then this is the front of the house. This bed here, can't really do a whole lot with because it doesn't get enough sun. This bed here, the weeds are horrible in it. So I've got to get it weeded. But then this here, now back there is a hollyhock that I planted last year. So I'm hoping to get some pretty blooms this year. Got a lot of clover in here. But I'm going to plant all of my pepper plants in this bed. This is actually some Swiss chard from last year. And it's actually growing back. So I'm going to leave it. Like I say, I like the wild, the wildness of it. So I'm just going to leave it. And then there is an oregano right there. There's some sweet marjoram. There's some thyme in there. And it's kind of all mixed in with some of this clover. So I'll just have to do some weeding to get it all weeded out. And then this is sorrel, y'all. If you've never had sorrel, if you grow some sorrel and eat it, you'll never eat spinach again. I love this stuff. It tastes like spinach with a lemon flavor. It is so good. And then here I have some thyme. And then right there is my rosemary. And then another oregano. Let me move my hand. There's another oregano right there. So, but I'm going to put peppers all in here. In this whole bed, I think. I don't know. We love peppers. We absolutely love peppers. So I think I might do that. So I'll have to trim these bushes down because these bushes get real tall and they shade everything if I don't keep them managed. So this sorrel came back from last year. I think sorrel is a perennial. So I'm going to leave that there and do some research on it. I do believe it's a perennial. But anyway, so that's what I have to work with. I'm going to back up a little so that you can kind of get an idea. I mean, I don't have big beds, but you can grow a ton of food in these smaller beds. I'm going to use the square foot gardening method this year. I haven't used it before, but I'm going to try it this year and, just kind of see how much food I can pack into these small sized beds. So I have that bed, then I have that bed, and then the two beds in the back. And that's what I have to work with. So I think it's going to be a fun summer. Just kind of seeing and experimenting and finding out just how much we can grow in these little beds. So I hope you've enjoyed this little garden tour. We'll just call this the garden tour of March, the first of the year. And this is the garden tour before the garden. So anyways, just thought I'd share that with you. I'm going to go ahead and go to Home Depot now and get my soil and my manure. And yeah, and then come back, and hopefully when I come back, I can start working on amending the beds and getting them ready. So maybe I'll do another video of that. And again, like I say, I'll come back when I start planting those cabbages and broccolis and stuff. So anyways, thank you for hanging out with me this morning. I hope you've enjoyed this little garden tour before the garden. And I'll see you in the next video. Big hugs.